Hello lovelies, welcome back to Lifestyle Chapter. Today I'm going to share with you my shrimp scampi pasta with spinach and cherry tomatoes. This is a weeknight recipe that can be made and it can be done under 30 minutes. I hope you stay with me to the end of this video, and if you're new to this channel, I welcome you to the family. Please subscribe and thank you so much for doing that. So lovelies, let's get straight into this, and I hope you stay with me to the end of the video. So here are the ingredients for the recipe. I already prepped most of the ingredients. I have my leftover spaghetti, I have my shrimp, baby leaf, cherry tomatoes, some shallots cut into smaller sizes. So here I'm going to season my shrimp. I'm using bigger shrimps or prawns for this recipe, so I'm going to season it with some salt. So a salt taste to the preference that you want, and then I'm going to add on my black pepper to it, and to that I will stir or mix everything up together. So I'll do that to make sure everywhere is marinated well. And then I set that aside. I have my pot or pan on fire, and I've added in some butter, about 1 tablespoon butter, and also I'm going to add in or drizzle in some extra virgin olive oil. But then I'm going to allow the butter to melt a little bit before. So I've drizzled in the extra virgin olive oil, and I'm stirring it so that the butter will melt quickly. And I'm doing this because butter doesn't burn easily, but oil does. So in this way, I'm going to use the 2 oils, and it makes it so easier to make your recipe with. And to that, I've added in the sliced shallots. I'm using about a cup of shallots for this recipe, and I'll leave it in the oil to caramelize. So here, going back to the ingredients, I have my cherry tomatoes that I'm going to cut into 2 equal halves. So that is what I'm working on. I'm going to cut all of them into 2 equal halves so I can use that for the recipe. So here is it. Everything is done. I'm going to transfer it into a bowl and set it aside until it's time for me to use it for the recipe. And back to the shallots. As you can see, it is all caramelized. I'm grating in the garlic. I have about 5 cloves of garlic that I'm grating using a grater to grate it in. I'm doing this because garlic easily burns, so I don't want it to get burnt. That is why I put in the garlic later on. So this way my shallot is already caramelized. I will just stir it for about a minute or 2 and it will all be done. And to that, I'm going to squeeze in some lemon juice to give it that flavor and that nice taste. So I'll stir everything up nicely together. If you find any seeds, please make sure to take them out. It is always better. Squeeze your juice separately in a bowl so it makes it easier to just pour it without having the seed going inside the recipe. So I would advise you do it that way instead of what I'm doing, but if you're good with what I did, that's fine. So here I'm pushing all the onions and the garlic on the side because I want to make room for the shrimp, which I've added it in the pan. And you know the way shrimp, it cooks so fast, it's going to take about 4 minutes to cook on both sides. So I've lowered the fire from medium to low heat to prevent the garlic and the onions from burning. So this way I'm going to allow it to fry the shrimp, which is not going to take a longer period of time to do that. So here I'm using my fork to turn it over. I'm finding some difficulties in there, so I'm going to use another utensil, that is my tongs, which is easier to turn because I have to turn the shrimps individually to make sure it is well cooked. So as you can see, the other side of the shrimp is showing reddish or orange in color. That means it is cooked. That is the easiest way for you to determine that your shrimp is cooked. So here, I'll wait for it to fry for about a minute. And then I'll go ahead and combine everything together. To that, I'm going to add in some white wine vinegar, which is going to give it that nice flavor, and also it is going to help it form the sauce for this recipe. So I'm adding in about a quarter cup of white wine vinegar, and then also I'm going to squeeze in another half of the lemon. So I have my lemon juice in there again, and as you can see the juices on it, it is smelling so amazing right now. And then to that I'm poured in the cherry tomatoes. I'm adding this in so that the juices of the shrimp and the cherry tomatoes mix up, which is going to make the recipe super delicious. So I'll let it in for about 2 to 3 minutes. I'll continue to stir to make sure the tomatoes is cooking well. And to that, I'll go ahead and add in my baby spinach. I have about 3/4 cup of baby spinach. You can use as much as you want, depending on your preference. So here I'm stirring everything up together, and you know with spinach, by the time the heat hits it up, it reduces in size. So I'll allow that in for about 2 minutes, and then I'm adding in some salt to taste, and also I'm adding in some black pepper. It is optional. If you don't want it spicy, you don't have to add any more spicy into it, but if you want it spicy, you can add your black peppers and your chili peppers, or your pepper flakes, and you're good. So it tastes really good right now. I'm going to throw in the spaghetti. One thing I like about this recipe is that it is fast to make, and if you have any leftover spaghetti, you make sure you don't let it go waste. You can use it for this recipe, and I tell you, you will enjoy it and love it. So that is exactly what I did. I have this leftover spaghetti in my refrigerator, a cooked one of course, and so I just decided to make this for a weeknight dinner, and it did not take me up to 30 minutes. It was under 30 minutes. So here I'll stir everything up nicely for the vegetables to combine and be even with the spaghetti. That is all that I'm trying to achieve here. So you have to take your time or be patient with when you get to this stage. So we are almost there. I'm going to sprinkle on some Parmesan cheese to give it more flavor and make the recipe cheesy. So I will stir it up nicely together. Just giving it a gentle stir. And you leave it in for about 2 minutes. And voila, lovelies. This is how our shrimp scampi pasta with spinach and cherry tomatoes is looking. Thank you so much for watching.